Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, our daily evening video talking about the developments in the stock market and looking at the various data points and what will happen tomorrow. So I'm going to dissect all of those and also look at the price charts for the Magnificent Six, I would say, and genomics. So let's get started. Welcome back, friends. First, as always, I would like to go to the Fear and Greed Index, and then we'll move from there, taking stock of the economic news and how the market reacted to it and what to expect tomorrow from the economic news perspective as well. So here we are in the Fear and Greed Index, and you can see that we are in extreme greed. So friends, one of the things that I had learned earlier was that when the Fear and Greed Index moves to extreme greed, that's when you should not be in XXX leveraged products like FNGU or SPYL. And that's exactly what I did. I moved out somewhere around 10 o'clock. And I sold all my FNGU holdings and booked all the profits. And it came down. And I'm going to watch what happens tomorrow. Unless the Fear and Greed Index goes into greed, I'm not planning to get back into FNGU because it's going to be very risky. Because it's triple leveraged, it can go up very fast and it can go down very fast as well. And there's a prospect of getting trapped. I'm just saying that again so that if it could be of use to somebody else, of course, not financial advice, just my personal opinion. So that said, I want to look at the economic calendar. You'll see that the GDP growth rate came in above. The consensus was 2%. But we came in at 3.3 and the expectation was 4.9. So in all counts, GDP came in much stronger. If you look at it in isolation, you'd feel that the Fed should get hawkish. But then if you start looking at the other aspects out here, you will see why the market did not get spooked and rather the market was more enthused. It was because the initial jobless claims came higher than expected, as you can look at this here, 214K as against 189K, and that's even more than the consensus. So that was one of the factors. And if you continue on the same way, look at the continuing jobless claims, 1,833K as against the expectation of 1,828K. So that's also something to look at. GDP sales quarter on quarter was less than the previous. Jobless claims 4-week average also came in less. This is a bit of strength on the economy, but it was not less by too much. It was very marginal, so that didn't create any problems. PC prices QOQ advance came in at 1.7 as against 2.6 before. So those are all the other factors which kind of made the market feel enthused. And for tomorrow, we are going to be looking at the core PC index and personal consumption expenditure index and personal income month over month, personal spending. So a lot of inflation measures are going to come up tomorrow. And many of them are happening at 8:30 in the morning. So I think the things that could move the market are all coming at 8:30 in the morning. We have to watch out. And that would determine the direction of the market, in my opinion. Apart from that, what I would say is that another way of looking at this narrative would be to note that the 10-year treasury yields pulled back after GDP data showed slowing inflation and strong growth. So overall, I think many experts are saying that we are heading towards a soft landing. So I think they could be right on that count. And let us go and look at the stock market heat map. You can see here in the heat map, as mentioned in the headline out here, 10-year treasury yields pulls back after GDP data shows slowing inflation and strong growth. So it says that the yield on the benchmark 10-year treasury note dropped by nearly 5 basis points. And we all know what that means. That means all that money has come into the stock market. Now, we know that Tesla had its own problems because of their earnings. So that can be excused. But you don't see any sign of rotation here. Earlier, we would see a particular set of sectors red and another sector green. So that's what we used to see for rotation. But now we don't see rotation. It's more of money coming into the stock market. So this is overall looking pretty good. With that said, I think we now need to look at the TradingView platform and see what the markets are telling us. So I'm just going to quickly open the charts and go to the futures and have a look at where the futures are at. Oh my God, futures are at negative 0.49, which probably means there has been some bad news. Let us go on to CNBC and see if there is any bad news out there. All futures are looking red. Alphabet, Microsoft, and Meta close at all-time highs. That's a good news. Intel stock sinks as early 2024 outlook comes up short. Oh, this is a harbinger of bad tidings. Intel issued an outlook for the first quarter of 2024 that lagged analyst estimates. Intel shares are down slightly this year as of Thursday's close, almost doubling in 2023. And I think this is what is pulling down the sentiments on top of whatever Tesla did. And I said that this is a harbinger of bad things to come, basically because if Intel and others are going to talk about poor outlook going forward, that means when we are looking at earnings multiples, the earnings multiples are going to indicate a lower price. And on the other hand, you have Mark Zuckerberg saying that they are buying a whole lot of chips for AI. So we have to reconcile both of those things. So I'm thinking that there could be money going into AI, but probably we are going to see some other weaker sectors dropping. So it will be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Right now, the futures are negative. The markets are still open. It's 25th of January, 7:04 p.m. And the futures are, Nasdaq futures are down 86.25 points. That is minus 0.49% negative. And then we go on to the indicators, look at QQQ, which did reasonably well today with 0.12% gain. Of course, they're all overbought and they need to cool off. That's the dynamic at play. And then we have this channel in here within which it will move. And we look at VIX. VIX managed to convert this line of resistance into line of support. So I'm going to say it's a support. And it ended at 13.46, up to 0.51%. S&P 500 was up 0.54%. Dow Jones was up 0.63%. US dollar index was up 0.24%, a perfect doji. And there is indecision out there. And when we find that the yields go down, I think you'll find the US dollar also going down. We'll find that out. US oil was down minus 0.03%. That's very negligible. The market is still open. There's a new action after the closure of the market for the regular trading. The regular trading, it went up significantly. And then if you look at the put call ratio, you can see that we have dropped minus 3.06%, and we are bullish at this point of time in the put call ratio. We are subdued by the 9-day exponential moving average. And as I was saying, US dollar index, it's a perfect doji, but I think it's likely to come down. Probably they're waiting for tomorrow's data before taking a call on it. And that said, let's go on to look at the Magnificent Six. NVDA was up 0.42% after being substantially higher earlier in the day. Netflix was up 3.14%. IBM was up 9.49%, and we will see a little bit more of selling on IBM tomorrow because of the gap up that we have here. And then if we look at Meta, it was up 0.63%, and everything, all the stocks that we have seen so far, they are all with RSI in the overbought region. And MACD absolutely bullish, except for Tesla, which is way below in momentum. And it has to do a dead cat bounce. Probably that will happen tomorrow. It was down 12.13% during the regular trading hours. And after hours trading has seen it jump up by 0.04%, which is a very minor jump, but still something positive. And there's a huge gap down which will need to be filled up. This is the gap down that needs to be filled up. So there could be an opportunity out here. And then we look at Microsoft, which was up marginally at 0.57%. Again, we are nearing this red line of resistance on the RSI band. And once we touch that, I'm expecting that it will come down. So probably sometime tomorrow, we may see a sideways movement or a downward movement for Microsoft. And their earnings are also coming up on the 30th of January. So there's going to be a bit of earnings jitter also out there. FNGU was down minus 0.99%. I got out just in time to book my profits. I'll be waiting to watch. And if it comes closer to this line of support, then I might decide to buy a small amount on a dollar cost averaging downwards basis. So I want to buy 100 of those, but I'm going to buy them in installments of 20. So I have 5 installments. That said, Apple was down 0.17%. Post-market, it's down another 0.09%. Google was up 2.19%, but post-market, it's down 0.32% right now. And we have Amazon, which was up 0.56% during the day and down minus 0.29% in post-market trading. And AMD was up 1.14%, no trades post-market. So that's what these are looking like. And I think let us look at QQQ once more very briefly, just to see the RSI and MACD. The RSI is definitely overbought. And let me also do the thing that I did for the others. I want to draw a red line of resistance at the very peak. And that will be the one that we are going to watch out for to guide us, especially because we are above 70%. I am saying that if we go anywhere up to that red line, we have been pushed down multiple times, so we'll be pushed down again, most probably. Nothing is a given. Next, we go on to genomics. And in genomics, we have IMTX, which was up 0.77%. I'm just going to expand this chart a little bit. IMTX was up 0.77%. Chart is looking reasonably healthy to continue moving upwards. Illumina was up 1.24%. And chart is starting to be looking better. The momentum is also more pronounced, upward momentum. And MACD is very close to crossing over the signal line. And then, of course, we have Beam with 0.65% gain. And the chart is still looking weak for Beam. PACB was up 2.01%, continuing to make improvements to build a foundation. So it's looking good. Prime was up 2.45%. Momentum is moving in the right direction, but it's very weak, so chart is still weak. ALLO was up 1.27%, chart is still looking weak. CRBU was up 3.07%, chart is starting to look interesting because MACD is almost ready to cross over the bullish side. And when we look at the momentum, it's almost close to average, and it's moving in the right direction. So chart is improving. And when it comes to DNA, we are up 1.61%. and being pushed down by the 9-day exponential moving average. Momentum is moving in the right direction, but it's still weak. Chart is starting to improve little by little. ARKG was up 0.86%, and it has got strong resistance at 29.96, which I'm going to mark red. And momentum is starting to look good. It's moving in the right direction, and MACD is also moving in the right direction. So there is some hope tomorrow. NTLA was up 0.12%, and it fell down below the line of support that I had created earlier. So I'm going to mark this as a line of resistance. This makes NTLA look weak on the charts overall. And Editas was down minus 3.23%. Again, chart is looking very, very weak. A potential dead cat bounce is possible, but in the past we have gone down further, so that could happen again. Then we have CRISPR, which was down minus 0.22%. I think CRISPR is doing reasonably well. It broke out on the upper side on the pennant, but managed to come back in again. And today it was a very slim range of trading. So there is like a Goldilocks of pricing. Let us see what happens tomorrow. The MACD and the momentum are not giving me a clue. VERV was up 3.40%. And momentum is moving in the right direction. MACD is also moving in the right direction. Looks promising, but still weak. NVTA was down 2.67%, and it's not looking good on the charts. A dead cat bounce is possible. And then we have Biogenomics, which ended flat, and Bluebird, which was up 4.67%. That's a decent move, and it has bounced back. It's a dead cat bounce from below 30 on the RSI. Well, friends, that brings me to an end of this video, and I have made a few videos this morning, and I have tried for the first time to use the auto translate feature. I put a few languages in there. If any of you speak more than one language, check out if your language is in the subtitles, please, and let me know if the subtitles are any good. Should I continue making them? So with that, my friends, I would like to end this video out here. I'll catch up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.